Welcome back to Triple Off Sports Talk. I'm Josh. That's Bryce. That's Roy over there in the corner. All three are back in person for this episode. Bryce comes home in about 10 days. Isn't that right? So get Bryce back here soon in person.
Yep.
Then we'll really be able to rock with some football. But we had our first week of college football. NFL starts in 2 days for us, 1 day for you guys. So we're right in the thick of it. Like we do every year, we pick every game of NFL football. Last year we started at, I think, week 10 or 11. That's when we started the podcast. So we're like 10 weeks away, boys, from doing a year. So it's a little
I'm
heads
ready.
up. But we're going to do it from week 1 this year. I don't even remember who won last year. Do you guys?
You mean
know.
Pickens?
We did it from
I
week
know I
11 or
got
12
last.
I
to-
thought
Bryce
you won. I thought that was the beer episode.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So I think Josh won,
Because we
I
didn't
know
do
I
the
got
playoffs. Then
last.
you're right. I think you're right.
and we'll just
I
do
did
another
win.
beer test. If you don't win, you get to
Sure.
pick the beer.
But this year we'll be able to do the whole thing. Before we jump into each game and who we think is gonna win, we'll go through them all pretty briefly. Just give our thoughts. We are gonna do our predictions for MVP. I'm gonna let Bryce go first. Bryce, who do you got winning MVP this year in the NFL?
I think it's a
Yep.
pretty easy shoe-in for Caleb Williams to win MVP.
Yep.
He'll be the second rookie ever.
I
to win
figured-
MVP.
I figured that's who he'd pick, so that's why I had him go first. Roy.
Are you talking NFL or just NFC, AFC MVPs? Doing
NFL.
NFL.
Do they even do that?
I don't even know.
Not for
They do
MVP.
offensive
They
player.
do for-
Offensive and
Like
defensive player of the
rookie
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MVP this year, I am going to say Josh Allen. I think he's going to, with his lack of talent he's got around him, I think he'll carry the load and he'll do really well with that Buffalo
Yep.
offense.
I'm taking Patty. He's got better weapons than he had last year, and they brought back Boo Boo Smith-Schuster, so you know he's due for a breakout year again.
Yeah.
Patty's going to win it again on their chase to a three-peat.
No shock.
So those are going to be our three MVP selections.
Well, hey, hold on.
Which-
I think we should all go into our app after this is over and put $20 on who we thought was going to win MVP.
I
Okay.
will when I get home.
I can do it that. You know, I was wondering if you could make bets out there. I was talking to my mom the other night about that, and I go, I don't think he can
No,
make bets out there.
I've literally been fiending. Every day I get a DraftKings notification. I'm like, ugh.
Okay, boys, let's start
All right.
off. Thursday Night Football, back-to-back Super Bowl champions host the Baltimore Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs. Roy, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think it usually takes the Chiefs a little bit to get going with with these new weapons they got. I think it'll take them a week or two, maybe 6 weeks to get them going. I think the Ravens are I think their defense is going to be really, really good. And even though Lamar may not be able to throw the ball, they'll be able to run the ball. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Bryce, what do you got?
I got the Ravens too. I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw last year with the Chiefs, where the beginning of the season, the whole season, really, they're just kind of slow. They got a lot of veterans that are kind of expected to play in the playoffs every year, so I don't think they really play all that hard in the regular season. So,
Yeah, I'm going to be the opposite of you guys. I do have the Chiefs. They lost last year on opening night to the Lions. I just think Mahomes has better weapons than he did last year, and the defense does make me a little nervous, especially with Derrick Henry getting added to that backfield. But if the Chiefs are at home, it's hard to pick against them, especially in Week 1. So I'm going to rock with the Chiefs. And then we have an interesting matchup in Brazil. Both teams are not allowed to wear green a little bit. So what do? They pick two green teams. The Packers at the Eagles. Eagles lose a home game because of it, but it's in Brazil. But Packers, Eagles, I'll go first on this one. I'm kind of torn on a split. I wish they didn't tie and no one would win. That'd really be cool, but I don't know. The Eagles were so bad at the end of the year last year, and the Packers were so hot. But I am going to take the Eagles still. I need to see them with Saquon Barkley to pick against them. So I'm going to go with the Eagles for Week 1.
I'll go. I'm also going to go with the Eagles for Week 1. I just think that team's too much of a superpower, and I don't know what happened at the end of the year last year, but I think for at least the beginning of the season, we're going to see the same beginning of the season Eagles that we saw last year.
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think Saquon Barkley is a huge addition to them, and I think, and then their defense I think is a lot better. They got some good cornerbacks in the draft. I think you're going to see them do a lot better this year. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Okay, clean sweep for the Eagles on that one. That takes us into Sunday, noon games. Probably game of the week here. Panthers in the Superdome in New Orleans. Just kidding, not game of the week. Roy, I'll let you go first. Panthers or Saints?
I think it'll be two bad teams. But I'm going to go with the Saints just because I think they got a little more veteran leadership around and better position players. I'm going to go with Saints.
Yep. Roy or Bryce?
I'm actually going to take the Panthers in this one. I think that the Panthers are going to be a little bit better than what some people predicted them to be and what we saw last year. Bryce Young's had another year at QB, so I'm expecting to see them be a little bit better, and I think the Saints are a pretty bad team right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually do agree with you, Bryce. I do think the Panthers are going to be better than people are getting them credit for. The problem is I still think they're going to be bad overall. Better offensive line. They do add another weapon. I know they still have old guys. I think Bryce Young takes a step, but I also think that defense is pretty bad. I am going to take the Saints, but it would not shock me if the Panthers shocked and won that game on the road. Being on the road also makes me want to pick the Saints a little bit more. And then next game, also at noon, Vikings head to MetLife to face the Giants. I'm going to make this quick. I personally think the Giants are one of the worst teams in football. Daniel Jones is in a prove-it year. He's already been paid, but he's going to lose his job if he doesn't play very good. But I still am going to take the Vikings in this one. Bryce?
I agree. I think that I don't think either team's all that great, but I think the Vikings definitely have some more superstar talent on the roster. I mean, I can't even name one person on the Giants that I think is Pro Bowl level at this point. So
I am going to go with the Vikings too. Sam Darnold will 3 touchdown passes easily.
I mean, he has Jay Jettas.
So. I got Jay Jettas as my first pick.
Who? Excuse me. Next game, also at noon. Patriots go to Cincinnati. A lot of question marks with Cincinnati. Even though I'll go first, even if Jamar Chase doesn't play, I still think the Bengals walk out of here with a win. But I wish Drake May was playing in this game. It'd make me want to pick the Patriots. But if Jamar Chase doesn't play, but still as an overall team, they're not good enough. I'll take the Bengals. Roy, how about you?
I'll take the Bengals, and I it's a bounce back year for them. Even without even Jamar Chase, they're going to be they're a better team than Patriots, and I think they'll win.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I would take the Bengals if they didn't have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, and I would still take them. So,
Steelers and Falcons, 2 teams that kind of disappointed last year. That a couple of people thought were going to be, a decent team. Roy, I'll let you go first. Who you got? Steelers, Falcons.
I'm going to take the Falcons. I think they got too many weapons. I like the Steelers, what they've done, but Russell Wilson's got to prove to me that he can be a quarterback that can win a ball game. So I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Bryce?
I'm also going to go with Falcons. I think adding Kirko Chains and Darnell Mooney, all the pieces that they added and spent money on, I think you're going to see a high-powered offense this year out of the Falcons. The defense worries me, but I'm not worried about their defense holding up in this game.
Yeah, I'm big on the Falcons this year for more reasons than one. Kirko Chains being a big one. All their players seem to be the breakout candidates. I don't think all of them break out, but I think some of them do because of Kirko Chains. The defense scares me for Atlanta, but Atlanta doesn't have Arthur Smith anymore, and actually the Steelers do. So that tells me the Steelers will lose this game, and they will not score. So I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields is playing left tackle, knowing Arthur Smith. So I am not choosing the Steelers. Another noon game. Big surprise of last season, the Houston Texans. They go to Indianapolis, who get their quarterback back and healthy, Anthony Richardson. Bryce, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you got?
I keep seeing things that Anthony Richardson's supposed to have his breakout year, but, I mean, watching him last year, he's a big running quarterback with a big arm. I don't trust his accuracy, though, still as a quarterback back there. And I think missing almost his whole rookie season, he's not due for a big breakout like some people might think. So I'm going to actually take the Colts to lose this game. So The Texans will be winning.
I'll go next on this one. I'm actually not as high on the Texans as some people are. I still think they're very close to a playoff or a playoff team. I just don't think they're the AFC, favorite like some people think. If CJ Stroud plays as good as he did last year, yeah, they're going to be really good. I need to see it a couple games of it to really believe that they're going to be legit. I am going to take the Texans. I do agree with what you said, though, Bryce. With Anthony Richardson missing most of the year last year, to me, he comes in basically as a rookie. He might know the system more, but play-wise, he's still a rookie. He hasn't had that game action. So I am going to take the Texans, but I do think this game is close.
I'm going to go Texans. I think there's too many weapons and firepower by the Texans to lose this game. I don't think the Colts have the talent. All they got is about Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, but I think the Texans will pull this out.
Yep. Next noon game, Arizona Cardinals go to Buffalo. Luckily, it's not cold, or else they'd probably be in trouble. I'll go first on this one. The Bills are a hard team for me to understand. They lose Stephon Diggs. Their receiving core looks piss poor on paper now. That's just on paper. Josh Allen's still a stud. That defense is still pretty good for the most part. And Arizona's not great yet, even though I love a lot of their young pieces. I still have Buffalo winning this game. But the Cardinals are going to be a fun team to watch, in my opinion, this year.
I can agree with you on the Bills are going to win because I think Josh Allen's still the best. I think he's still the best player in football right now. I don't think there's another. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and him, I think, are pretty close. But watching him do what he does with almost no weapons is pretty unbelievable. And on the other hand, I think the Cardinals are not going to be a very exciting team to watch this year. Black Ops 6 just came out or is coming out, and Kyler Murray is not going to be the same. He's going to be playing
Very good point.
every single night.
Very good point.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Bills. I just think they're a better team than the Cardinals in a better position, and they got a better quarterback.
Next game, there's two more noon games. I lied. I skipped a line. Titans go to Chicago. I'm going to let Bryce go first so we can get this over with.
I really think this will be a blowout game for Chicago, and you're going to see Caleb Williams with 250 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns.
I need more than that for my fantasy.
I don't even know why Roy's putting his head down. That's not even a crazy stat.
Roy, how about you?
I think the Titans will win. I think Will Levis will have the breakout game of the year. Caleb Williams will throw 3 interceptions, and they won't be able to run the ball. And so I'll take the Titans to win by 10 points.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Bears with Bryce. I do think this game is close. The Titans, the way they play football is just a slow pace, grind it out. And that's usually what the Bears are. But I don't know how they do it this year. They seem to not be like that. I'm sure Caleb Williams will have his mistakes. It's a rookie quarterback. It's going to happen. But I don't love the Titans' offense, really. DeAndre Hopkins is banged up at the moment. And then they have 2 running backs, which I don't know which one they're going to use. And if they split them, I don't love their defense. I like the Bears overall, especially at home. But I do think the game's close because I don't think the Titans will play to where it gets out of hand. I think they're going to run the ball, take their time. So I think it's a close game. Next game, last game at noon, Jaguars go to Miami, Battle of Florida. This is going to be my first upset. I am going to have the Jaguars go into Miami and win. Trevor Lawrence, breakout year. Jaguars make the playoffs last year and the Texans don't. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't hurt his ankle. Now, I'm not saying that's why they fell apart, but it really is the beginning of it. And Miami just seems like the team to me that Tua got paid. Tyreek had a great year. They're due for a fall off, in my opinion. A little bit. I'm not saying they're going to miss playoffs, but small fall off. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year.
I actually disagree. I think that Dolphins will be just as good as last year, and I think the Jags – I agree completely that they were a great team until Trevor Lawrence went down, but I think them losing Calvin Ridley is a huge blow to that offense, and I just don't trust that he has the receivers anymore with just Christian Kirk out there to be the team that they were last year.
I think the Dolphins will win this game. I think the Dolphins' offense, just like last year, the first 6 weeks, I think had record-breaking yardage just because they're that fresh and good. I think that's what you'll see. You'll see that early in the season, then the Dolphins may fade with injuries and stuff. But I think they're just too fast and got too much speed, and they'll just run all over the Jags.
Next game, Broncos go to Seattle. Wish Russell Wilson was still there. That'd be another good one to watch. But Bo Nix time in Denver. I'll let Roy go first on this one.
I am going to go with the Seahawks. Bo Nix has got to prove to me that he can do this in the NFL. And I think the defense on the Broncos is not that good right now. I don't think they just have the talent. They traded too many players away. They're so far over the salary cap, and I just think the Seahawks got better players right now.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to be a similar team as they were last year. Not a lot of pieces lost or anything. They're one of those teams that it's going to play good football and beat you if you don't play good football. And I don't care what Monaco says. I really don't think the Broncos will win a game this year. So I just don't think Bo Nix is all that.
Yeah, this one's a confusing one to me. It's no more Pete Carroll. So what kind of Seahawks do you see? Like Bryce said, if this is Pete Carroll, I think they're in every game for the rest of the year. Some duds, some really good games. They have similar team. I think Tyler Lockett's starting to age, but I think Jackson Smith-Njigba kind of steps up and plays well. The thing that worries me is Geno Smith. He kind of showed his age a little bit last year, in my opinion. But they have the worst backup quarterback in football in Drew Lock, so he's going to play. So I'm going to take the Seahawks, but it's going to look different, in my opinion, because no more Pete Carroll. Another 3:00 game. Vegas Raiders go to the new look Chargers of Jim Harbaugh. So Roy, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you got?
Chargers win it. Harbaugh's the man. He's the greatest coach ever. Go Chargers.
That makes me want to throw up. Bryce?
I mean, if I could pick neither team to win, I really don't think either one of these teams will be good this year, but I am going to edge it to Chargers because I think Herbert will carry it more. But I mean, I really don't think either one of these teams will be all that good this year.
I'm going to go with the Raiders. At the end of the day, I know Herbert is better than Minshew by miles, but there is no way that Ladd McConkey is a better receiver than Devontae Adams, and I just trust if there has to be a play made that Devontae Adams can make the play, and even Jacoby Myers can get open versus Ladd McConkey, and I don't know if I know another receiver on this roster.
Minshew can't even get it to him, so it's gonna be terrible.
Minshew Mania knows how to.
Devontae Adams will quit about halfway through the season.
That makes me like the Raiders even more. Thank you, Bryce. So I'll take the Raiders. In my opinion, I don't think it's that big of an upset, but on the books it is. So I'll take the Raiders in this one. 3:30 primetime game, and fun fact: Tom Brady's debut in the booth. Cowboys go to Cleveland. I'll save my picks for last. Bryce?
I'm actually going to take the Cowboys in this. I think that the Cleveland Browns are a little more overhyped than what they were than what they're coming off of. I think they had a great team last year, heavily carried by the defense. I don't think the rapist coming back helps them a lot. He's barely played in the 7 years or whatever he's been in the NFL. He's been suspended the whole time. And I think that we're going to start seeing Myles Garrett, probably the best defensive player in the league, start to show his age a little bit more and regress, and that defense kind of regress with him.
Show his age. He's like 26. Jeez.
Oh, he's older than that.
I'm going to take the
Browns. He's not old. I don't agree. I do think he's just fine, but
I'm going to take the Browns because the Cowboys suck. They need to get rid of Dak Prescott because he's maybe he's about as bad as Caleb Williams. And that defense will let whoever's running the ball just run all over them. So the Browns will win by a touchdown or more.
The Browns are actually favored, which kind of surprised me in my opinion. I actually think the Cowboys. I'm not saying they're going to win this game by a lot because I know that defense is good for Cleveland, but I really do think the Cowboys will win. And trust me, if I don't think the Cowboys will win, sometimes I say it. I think Cowboys' offense will be fine. They'll get stifled a little bit with Myles Garrett and that D line, but they'll get open. CeeDee Lamb's the best receiver in football by light years. And I think the Cowboys' defense will easily slow down the Browns. To me, that's a bigger sway. I think the Cowboys' defense does slow down Cleveland, and I think we score enough to edge them. So that's my opinion. But
I would say the rapists will probably fuck the Cowboys.
It's a very
Actually,
good
both teams have a rapist. Micah Parsons at Penn State was known to be a little bit of a locker room predator.
Next 3:30 game.
Penn State, so that's probably true.
Yeah.
If he even stays on the team, I mean, they've paid everybody, and they're going to lose. Cowboys are going to lose one of the two players.
Yeah, you're right. They are. Or they'll just keep those four and just 4v11 every play. I like that better. Commanders go to the Buccaneers. And the Commanders are getting some hype. I get it. Jaden Daniels is a good player, or could be. I think they're just so god-awful still, especially defensively. I got the Buccaneers by a lot.
I'm going to take
Bryce?
the Buccaneers, but not by a lot. I think that they're going to do a lot of the same things that they did last year, come down to the end and win ball games because Baker has got more experience. He's actually kind of a veteran at this point. I mean, not super old, but I mean, he's been around forever, played on a bunch of teams, and last year he had a great year. I'm expecting the same stuff out of Baker.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Buccaneers. I think Baker Mayfield's gonna be well. I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything, but I think they'll just end up beating him more because I'm not sold on Jaden Daniels yet on either. So I'll take the Buccaneers.
So
And
every
then-
rookie quarterback you're not sold on, besides the one that's out for the year and as a backup for Sam
I'm not
Darnold.
sold on other than JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
And
Jesus Christ.
It's awesome. And to me, I mean, these are two of the best games of the week. That's why they're both in the primetime slots. Rematch of a divisional round last year and just a good storyline. Matthew Stafford and the Rams go to Detroit to face the goofball and the Lions in Detroit. Bryce, I'll let you go first. What do you got?
I've got the Rams. I really think that you're going to see a regressive year this year for the Lions. I think that teams kind of have them figure out how to beat them, get up on them early, and don't let them run the ball and make Jared Goff beat you because that guy is not good enough to beat any team in this league if he has to throw the ball every play.
I'm going to take the Lions. I think Jared Goff will show why he's the number one quarterback in the NFC Central and maybe the NFC period.
You didn't even say his fucking name right.
NFC
Jared-
North.
What are the North? NFC North. I mean, that's what they're in.
You said NFC Central.
Oh, whatever.
We're not
So
baseball
the
yet,
Lions
right?
will win. It'll be too loud. The Rams won't be able to do anything. The Lions by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I think the Lions kind of, and this was last year, every team changes. That's how it works. Yeah, I do agree with you, Bryce, that the Lions, they were like the Cowboys. If you got up on them early, they struggled because they like to run the ball. Cowboys didn't like to run the ball, but it was for their defense, why they like to be up early. But the Lions are going to do the same thing. They're going to try to run the ball. They have 2 good running backs, one really good one I'd say average. But the Rams do lose Aaron Donald to early retirement, which really hurts them in my opinion. I do take the Lions because I think the Lions run the ball well, and so that's why I have the Lions. But yeah, if the game comes down to the quarterbacks, I hope Goofball doesn't have the ball in his hands. So, but I do take the Lions in a tight one. I think they played twice last year. Maybe it was only once, and it was a tight one to move on in the playoffs. Last game of the week. I don't know why they put Aaron Rodgers on a Monday Night Football game again, but they do. So we'll see if his Achilles holds up. The Jets go to San Francisco and face the NFC champion of last year, the San Francisco 49ers. Roy, I'll let you go first.
Well, I mean, he's not playing the Bears because Aaron Rodgers owns he owns them. But I'm going to go with the Jets. I think their defense is really good. I think they'll be able to run the ball, and I think Aaron Rodgers is a big difference in that. And I think the 49ers are going to struggle early, but I think the Jets will win.
I'm going to take the 49ers. I mean, they're coming off of a Super Bowl loss, but they were the best team in the league all year round. You could maybe toss it up with the Eagles last year. And it's hard for me to see all this hype and believe it before actually watching the Jets play that a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers who just didn't play an entire season is going to come in and completely turn around just a poverty team from last year. So I have to see them play a little bit to believe they're going to be a good team, but I'm going to take the 49ers in this one.
Yeah, a week ago I was locked on the Jets, not a doubt in my mind that they were going to go in there and win, and then the 49ers signed Ayuk, and they just signed Trent Williams today. How they're going to pay Brock Purdy, I don't understand. They are paying literally every position other than him. Now it's I think it's really close. My guts, I think the Niners will win at home, but I am going to pick the Jets. Even though I do think the Niners win this game, I am going to pick the Jets because I think the Jets are going to be really good, and it could be a statement win, especially if Aaron Rodgers' Achilles holds up past the first play. That'd be big. But I just think that's unbelievable. They put him on Monday
The guy's
night
got
again.
nerve ropes for Achilles.
I mean, it's the first time he's ever popped it. But yeah. Well, maybe because of his surgery last year. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
I don't think I have any more things this week. You guys for
No.
football? All right. Roy, roll us into college football.
Well, it was a great first week. You gotta love it. The first game we'll talk about. I mean, I don't know if you guys got to watch it, but some of I thought all the ranked games was good except for one. We'll start with the Georgia Clemson. I'll start with it. Clemson was absolutely terrible. No quarterback play. They couldn't run the ball. I mean, Georgia's defense is good, but not that good where Clemson couldn't do anything. I read a stat where Clemson has not taken a transfer since 2018 or something like that.
They haven't got a transfer to become a starter. They've gotten transfers. They just don't. They're not the player that they're getting.
Yeah, so they're not identifying. He's not adapting. Dabo's not adapting to how this game is played today, and that's why his team's starting to suck. And Clemson just not there anymore. So Georgia looked good. I mean, so they got a long season, but Clemson's going to be in a hurt for this year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was really hoping you didn't say that stat, Roy. I was going to pull that out, make it look like I was super smart.
Well,
but yeah, that is crazy that he has not had a transfer player come in and start the next year. Not in today's college football. It doesn't work like that. And I think, it's the end of Dabo Swinney and Clemson. If Clemson decides that, they might just go, he's won us those championships. They're not going to move on from him. That's their decision. But, it's over there. Let's be real. I won't say I thought Clemson played terrible. Like, they played bad, don't get me wrong. But Georgia, man, they were tough everywhere. They didn't make mistakes really the whole game. They started slow on offense, Georgia did. But Clemson did have a good defense. But, man, they really tore them apart with those adjustments. And there was no adjustments on the other side, in my opinion. So, man, that pick that Georgia corner had on that right side of the sideline.
Or whatever.
Holy cow, what adjustment he made to dive vertically back. And, yeah, I just thought it was incredible. Difference between athletes. But, yeah, Georgia looked as advertised at the number one spot. So,
what do you, Bryce?
Yeah, so these games all play at 3 a.m. for me, so you're not going to get much out of me this week. When I get back next week, I will be chiming in more on these types of games. Well,
then we'll move on to the Notre Dame Texas A&M game, which I didn't get to watch too much of it because it was the same time as the Michigan game. But I watched the highlights and I was flip-flopping back and forth. And I'll let you talk about it, Josh, if you want first.
I did. I actually did watch almost the entire game. I was doing something while watching, but it was like on the same screen, so I was kind of watching both of them. Man, this first half was ugly. Nobody could run the ball, and the quarterbacks were just pressured and throwing balls into the dirt. It looked awful. Second half, the offenses woke up a little bit, started to create some holes. You're on the ball the entire game. You start to wear down the defense. Texas A&M just didn't make the plays when they had them. They didn't have a lot of shots, but they missed their chances. A couple balls thrown to open receivers, and they were off target. I was not impressed with A&M's quarterback the entire night. I thought he was pretty mediocre. And on the other side, Notre Dame, they didn't have many chances as well. That Texas A&M defense was good, but they did capitalize on a few chances, and that's what won them the game at the end of the day. They had a long run for 40-something yards that really broke the game open, but both defenses were as advertised. But what a win for Notre Dame to go into Kyle Field and win that game. Good luck to Texas A&M with that schedule in the SEC being 0-1. And Notre Dame looks good for the rest of the year because they won that tight game, and that's something they've historically struggled at.
Got anything, Bryce, to add?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, the little parts I got to watch of it, I was not impressed with Texas A&M at all. I was actually couldn't believe that as much talent as they got, as much money as they paid for their players, for them not to be able to run the ball, do the thing. They didn't play. The playmakers weren't there. I didn't think the Notre Dame they could run the ball. That was about it. Quarterback play was not not there for them, and maybe in the future. Both defenses, I think, were pretty good, but Notre Dame just made the plays with the run game that they needed to win that game. So I was actually disappointed in the way watching Texas A&M, as I do not like Notre Dame, so it was just disappointing. So the only other game, two ranked teams, USC LSU. I'll go first on this one. I watched it. I just can't believe. I mean, LSU just shoots themselves in the foot, cannot make plays when they need to. USC didn't look. Their defense didn't look great, but their offense looked. They could move the ball, but LSU had chance after chance to do things, and Brian Kelly just could not get that team to go where they wanted to. This is the third straight year they've lost the opening week matchup against a good team. So they just shoots them when they're that. You like you said earlier with Texas A&M, when you play a tough schedule and then you got a team like this and you lose a game that you should have won. This is the second year in a row that I've watched where they should have won, and they just shot himself in the foot too many times.
Yeah, I completely agree. Texas A&M, or not Texas A&M. To me, USC didn't win this game. LSU lost it. Like anything, you have your chances, you blow them, especially that first drive. I mean, they rolled down the field and then got a fourth down and got pressured. Other team or USC sent the house. They throw it to the back of the end zone. But to me, the biggest thing why they shot themselves in the foot so much was all of the play calls on second down. It'd be like 2nd and 7, and they'd run the ball for a yard and then get in third down, and then they wouldn't be able to do anything. Or they'd run the ball on 3rd and short and get stopped and have to punt. I thought they threw the ball well all night. That LSU quarterback didn't miss a throw almost all night, but they couldn't run the ball at all, other than like 2 plays in the third quarter. They ran for like 40 and then like 20. After that, it was nothing. I thought the play calling was awful late, but LSU lost it more than USC won it. But that last game-winning drive, Lincoln Riley put together a clinic on how to orchestrate a game-winning drive because, man, they were clicking.
Oh, yeah, he's good. All right, we'll move to Bryce's team, the Tennessee Vols. Bryce, you got anything to say about them?
I do, actually. I would like to include this for when I get back. I will be placing another bet that Nico Iamavella will win Heisman this year because, I mean, it's unbelievable that he didn't start last year. The few times that he did get to play last year, I couldn't believe they didn't start him. And instead, we had some bum out there throwing the ball around. And so hopefully this year, Tennessee looks a lot different, like they actually have a real offense and a quarterback who can throw the football finally.
I don't have anything to add to that because I didn't really watch Tennessee because I don't really give a shit.
It was 69-3.
I'm looking at the score right now.
I didn't watch it either.
I don't know much about Tennessee yet. I will wait till they play Alabama in like 3 weeks, and then I'll make my decision. And then if they struggle with Florida, because I watched the Florida game, and Florida sucks. So if Tennessee struggles with them, then I'm going to say Tennessee sucks.
All right, 14 right now.
They're what? So.
All right, be in the top 10 here in the next 2 weeks.
Well, who they play next week? We'll talk about that here in a minute. All right. Well, Josh, talk about your Illini.
I was impressed. Now they played EIU.
I was gonna hope.
Me and Bryce damn near could have played for
EIU.
But they did what they were supposed to. The defense is what impressed me. They actually did look good, but the offense, to me, when you play a team like that, you should score 40, 50 points a game. It was the defense that didn't allow one. I was impressed with that. They'll get a real good test this week, though, so we'll know after this week.
I watched the Illinois game, fell asleep in the third quarter because Eastern's quarterback play was about as pitiful as watching Caleb Williams play last year. So we'll just see I'll just go with whatever you said on that. The only last team we'll talk about from last week, Michigan versus the Fresno State. Michigan's defense is advertised pretty good. They did pretty well. They didn't give much yardage. They gave up 10 points, but there was I was not disappointed. I was more disappointed in the kind of the play calling. We didn't run the ball well. When quarterback play, that was the question mark coming in. Could we play? But when your quarterback throws 60 or can complete 68% of your passes and you just can't make play, can't run the ball very well, that's disappointing. I was kind of disappointed in Donovan Edwards, but Fresno State's actually one of the top 5 teams in the group of 5. So got to pull out a 20-point win, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I kind of thought they'd blow them out a little bit more than they did. Did they start the other quarterback and not I'm not going to say his name right. It starts with an A.
They started Davis Warren.
Okay.
And instead of Alex Orji.
Yeah, and wasn't I read Orji was supposed to be the starter.
Yeah, then the completion passing was the difference. They said so. Davis Warren, he completed. He at one point it was 80% pass completions. We just couldn't run the ball. Michigan just couldn't run the ball.
To me, I'm not saying it's a controversy because I don't know which one's better. I know Orji's a better athlete, but if they need a guy to go out there and complete passes and they're going to run the ball, I get it. But I don't like quarterback controversy because that can divide a team. You know, if half the team thinks Orji should be starting, the other half thinks this guy should be starting. I don't love that. 20 points on Fresno State, or 20-ish points, I don't know the exact score, I thought was a little low. I think they should have played better than that. I do agree with you. The defense is advertised, especially is it Will Howard? I'm not going to say that name right.
Will Johnson.
Right? Will Johnson is as advertised, but I thought the offense, to me, didn't look very good. But
yeah,
week one, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, if Fresno State was just absolutely shit of a team, I would have been concerned. But they actually, after you do some research, and they got them as one of the top group of 5 teams going into the playoffs. So I didn't feel so bad. So all right, we'll look for next week. All right, there's only 2 ranked games for next week. They're ranked teams, 2 teams playing ranked teams. First one we'll talk about. I just happened to look at it now. It's Bryce's Tennessee Vols versus the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Bryce, come on, tell us what you're excited about and what you're gonna see from your Vols.
You're gonna see Nico put up another 300-yard game with 3 passing touchdowns, and it's gonna be another blowout win where he doesn't even play the fourth quarter. So,
okay, Josh.
I actually don't know a lot about. I know a little bit about Tennessee. I really don't know anything about NC State. I mean, the quarterback's going to have to play good, especially ranked games. All about, especially Tennessee, who throws the ball. They don't run the ball almost at all. Going to have to throw the ball well. If I had to guess, I don't know anything about NC State. That tells me they're probably a defensive team. If I had to guess, so maybe that defense can get some stops. Is it in Tennessee?
It's the games in North Carolina State. Well, actually,
so Tennessee goes on the road. First road test against a ranked team. We'll see.
Bank of America Stadium. I guess that's
Carolina Panthers. I don't know if that's their home stadium or
that's not their home stadium. So they're playing at the Carolina Panthers.
But it's still in Carolina, so.
So no, I mean I don't know much about Tennessee. I don't know a whole lot about NC State other than they were picked 4th to finish or 5th in ACC, I think, behind Florida State, Miami, Clemson, and North Carolina, I think. So
Gotcha.
They're ranked 24th. They had a big blowout win last week, so that'll give you a good chance to prove to me it's a primetime game. I won't be able to watch it as I will be at a different football game. So I'll just have to take your word for it that they're good. Now maybe I'll watch it on my phone or something because I'll be at another college football game, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Next one, we'll talk the other game that's 2 ranked teams. My Wolverines are hosting stupid ass Texas Longhorns, and already been talking shit to Seth Rep, who is a big Longhorn fan, horns down. So I guess I'll talk about it since they are my team. I'm excited to see. This is where, last week we got going. They say we're going to open up the offense. I can't wait. I'm hoping Donovan Edwards always comes up in big games. And I'm hoping that's what he does this week because we'll have to be able to run the ball. Texas defense is the one that is a part of their game that struggles is their defense.
Yeah.
Their offense
a lot
is
of NFL picks last year.
I know. So yeah, they lost a lot on that defense. So that's where they're going to struggle is on their defense. Now they can throw that ball. Quentin Ewers can throw that ball and make some great throws.
Isaiah Bond now in Texas.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited to see Will Johnson against Bond and those guys. I can't wait for that part. I'm not worried about them running on us because that's never been a problem. Teams run. It's the passing game that's going to get us. I think it's going to be a close battle. I really do, and I think it's going to come down to kicking, which Michigan got a great kicker, and I think we'll run the ball better. And I can't wait. I think it'll be a good game. I'm Wolverines will come on top.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear Roy's unconfidentness in his voice when he's talking because he knows that his Wolverines are going to get rolled. He's talking about this game coming down to kickers and that Michigan has the better kicker. Yeah,
They do.
Not going to happen.
We have the
Give me
number
Texas
one
by
ranked kicker
16.
coming into this week too. Why don't you read the facts, you dumbass?
Give me Texas by 16.
Okay, hey, I'll take that bet. I will take that bet right now, Bryce. What do you want to bet? I'll bet you whatever you want to bet when you come back.
I'll bet you
next
the
week.
actual spread, but I'm not going to put money on it.
The actual spread. Is that what you're saying? Let me look what the actual spread is. It is 7.5 for Texas.
I'll
So we're
take
gonna
that.
take
Minus 7.5.
minus 7.5. All right, I'll take it. I will take that bet right now.
Damn.
That not in 2 weeks
I
you got to
can't
drink
believe they're
not
favored in the
one
big
but
house.
2 Four Locos on the podcast.
Oh my god! As
Is
long
that
as
a
I
deal?
can pick the flavor, I'll do it. But Roy has to do it as well.
Fine, I'll do it. I have no problem.
That's
Okay.
the best bet in the entire Triple Alpha's
All right.
history because I'm not involved, and I get to watch someone drink 2 Four Locos.
Trust me, I'll get ready to make a bet with you too.
Don't worry, Roy will be in Red Sox gear when he does it too.
Red Sox gear. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, this is a ball game. I love that it's in the big house because that just makes it so much better. I wish it was cold when they played. I think it would play in Michigan's favor a little bit more. This game's going to be a ball game. To me, the game does come down to, and Roy kind of pointed at it, Michigan's offense against Texas's defense. To me, whoever wins that battle is the winner of the game. Because I think, Texas is going to get a few points, but I also think Michigan's defense stops them, certain drives. I think it just comes down to the other way. But I'm sorry, Roy, I have to go. Horns up. Texas going into the big house.
Whatever you want to do, man.
Michigan. Beat
You'll
Michigan.
be in Chicago. You won't even notice what's going on.
I will. I won't. What time is the game? Is it at 11?
It's 11 a.m. game.
I don't know if I'll be able to. I might be able to watch it. I don't think the Yankee game starts till like 1. So I might be able to watch it at the bar because I'm going to be at a bar by Wrigley watching. So I might try to watch a little bit of it, but
watching the Yankees whip the crap out of the Cubs.
No, I'm sure they'll lose. I'm sure they'll get swept. That's just how it works.
I'm sure the Cubs will get swept.
Yeah.
Cubs just lost 2 in a row without scoring a run. So,
well, the Yankees lost series of the Angels and got tied to the White Sox. So.
All right, so let's move to the next game. So the only other games we got to talk about. The only other game we're going to talk about is Josh's Illini. You play ranked Kansas. Iowa. Yep. It's a night game. I'll actually be at that game.
Is it a night game?
It's a nice 6:30 game. I got stuff to do during the day, and so we have an event there that night. So
yep,
I will be there.
I'll
go
first. We played Kansas last year, and that last year was Kansas's first hype year. They were supposed to be really good. And
Isn't that where Terrence Shannon decided to do his little dirty deed?
Yeah, and get accused of false accusations where the guy should be – he is a millionaire now. Good for him. Girl should be in prison for the rest of her life. But to me, Kansas is a better team. They bring back their quarterback. I think his last name's Daniels. I could be wrong. Super mobile guy. To me, Illinois' defense struggles, so will they be able to hold up? I really want Illinois to win this game, but I don't think they will. I think Kansas will probably be too good, but it's at home, and it is sold out, so that does give me a little bit of a hope that they'll hang around. So give me the Illini.
Les Miles, is he still coaching Kansas?
I don't think so.
I don't know who other Kansas is. Well,
they might be. I don't think so, though.
Kansas will win. That's just Illinois sucks, so I'm not even gonna say more. Bryce,
I'm not even gonna talk about these 2 bum teams.
All right,
no, Lance Leopold or Leopold.
Leopold. All right, so the only other game we're gonna go for. I'm not even gonna go game. Hey, we're all Air Force members. Air Force is 1-0. They won last week. They got San Jose State this week, so and they're minus 6.5. So
Air Force is or San Jose State?
Air Force is a 6.5 point favorite.
Wow.
So I might take that game. It's at home.
2-0.
All right, that's all about college football.
If Air Force ever needed a replacement, I could run that offense to perfection. Might not be any good, but I could run the offense.
Yeah.
I tried to do a franchise with them or a dynasty with them, Bryce.
It's
running triple left, triple right every play is tough.
I know. I did it with that quarterback I made. It was horrible. I won the Heisman running.
I played Butter online. We had to pick teams from whatever conference they're in. And I was like, I'm choosing Air Force. I demolished him with the triple option. Every play, he's running the opposite way. It was awesome. And he played the triple option.
All right. Let's go. What's next?
That all we got for college football?
That's all we got for college football.
All right, let's take us into baseball, where I'll go over the standings of our MLB draft that we did. And so we hit September 1st, so we changed some teams, and I went back and calculated to make sure I didn't miss any games. I had a breakdown of every team's wins by the month to make sure I didn't miss any. I did have a few mistakes, so I'm glad I did, and I updated them. And I probably won't miss one the rest of the year. I miss certain days, but we should be good for the final month because I can look at the wins in the month. Really, the big winner of that one was Roy. Roy and Bryce are tied for second, 434. I'm
What
in
a
first,
comeback.
436. I have a 2-game lead. It's anyone's ball game down the stretch. Roy has feasted off the Dodgers and Astros and Brewers. Really, the Astros. They really haven't lost since he picked them up. Roy is a beloved Astros lover. And Bryce,
I'm okay with that.
Bryce has now they've hit a little bit of a rough patch, but
Yeah,
the
the last 2
Royals, the
games.
Padres have carried you into contention again. I don't
And
think
the
the Padres
Cubs.
lost for a month. Yeah, but you've only had them for a month. The Padres didn't lose for 2 months almost.
Yeah.
Neither did the Royals. They brought you back. And then my teams just decided not to play baseball for a couple months, but that's okay. Made some changes. So I think that's just going to take it to the MLB standings. Roy, you want to go through them real quick?
Yeah, I can do that. All right, going into, let's see, there's probably some games already. I'm just going to go quickly because as we talked about, nothing's really changed. The AL East, it goes Yankees, Baltimore, Boston, Tampa, Toronto. Not much has changed other than the Baltimore's actually tied with them for first place. You got the Central, AL Central. It's Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City's kind of falling off there. They were right there for Cleveland, Detroit, and then the White Sox. And the White Sox has officially been eliminated from the playoffs at 31 and 109. The West, Houston, Seattle, Texas, Oakland, and LA. NL East, you got Philly. Atlanta just keeps hanging around. Ever since you dropped them, I think they've won. They've been better. 6-4 in their last. So maybe they just want to get rid of be off Josh's team.
I need you to pick it back up.
And the Mets, Washington, and Miami. The NL Central, Milwaukee just give them the division now. They're up 10.5. The Cubs, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. And then the Dodgers have made they're winning and they're making some gab now. They're up. San Diego, Arizona, San Francisco, and then Colorado has been eliminated from the playoffs. So there's your standings.
Okay, Roy, when you look at the standings, I know we are in the dog days. There's about 20 games left. I did the math today. There's about 20 games left. 20 to 23 range. Some teams have a little bit more. They kind of did the math. Unless go on a straight heater and the team you're chasing goes on a straight losing streak, we're pushing around the 6 game mark back is about the maximum striking distance. When you look at the standings, do you see any changes happening? Are you monitoring anything? What do you think?
I've been watching more of the NL wild card. I mean, the Mets are still there. I mean, they're only half game out from Atlanta. The Cubs are only 4.5. I think other than that, St. Louis is 6, San Francisco 7. I think they'd have to really get hot to do that. So I've been watching more of the wild card. The AL wild card I just watched because the Baltimore Yankees. I mean, they're just flip flopping. Who's gonna be the winning the AL East or who's gonna be the first wild card. So that's the only ones I've been really caring about. Because I think the wild card in the AL East is pretty much the other two teams are done. I think they're decided. So
how about you, Bryce?
Yeah, the NL wild card was what I was going to talk about as well. The Cubs just went on a historic tear, scoring 100 runs in 8 games. So, but we just lost 2 in a row to the Pirates without scoring. So it's not looking great for us making the spot. But I mean, it's still a potential if we keep playing this hot streak that we were.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Roy. I'm kind of looking at the NL wild card and also the Yankees and the Orioles. I mean, it kind of struck me today when I noticed there was only 20-something games. They are in a dogfight at this moment. I mean, Yankees win today, they'll go up half a game again, but they do still have a 3-game set against each other in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, which would tell a lot. But the other thing I'm monitoring, I think there's a chance Houston comes in and takes the 1 seed away unless New York or Baltimore go on a win streak and take control of the NL or the AL East. If they continue to sputter and hang around like they have been, I think Houston, even though they've lost one in a row in the thing. I don't know if they're losing today or not. I think they can run away with run and snatch that 1 seed, which would totally shake up the standings or the playoff picture in the American League. So that's kind of what I'm monitoring to see if they can continue to creep or if they're going to sit at that 2/3 mark. Because right now they're in the 3 slot, but really there's no difference between the 2 and 3 other than the first round bye. But that's what I'm watching. And fun fact, Aaron Judge won another American League Player of the Month. Locked him in for the MVP, best player in baseball.
Best player
That's
in
all I got.
baseball.
It's not even close. Not even close.
We're just not going to mention the 40 for 40 that's about to turn into a 50 for 50 by Shohei Ohtani.
No,
Congratulations.
he's in MLP or he's MVP for NL.
Yeah. But
Easily
that's
the best
all I
player
got.
in baseball.
Not even close. Now, if
Not
he's
even
pitching, I will give you it. If he's pitching, he's not pitching. He's a DH. He doesn't do anything defensively other than spit seeds or chew or whatever he does. Probably
Gamble.
roids. Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's just going to take us on our miscellaneous end. NFL's back. I'm going to throw off some bets. I'm going to keep it real light with you guys this week. Week 1, I'm sure most of you guys have just put in your deposits. Not me. I'm more of an expert. I have a bankroll from this time exactly 1 year. Best betting year of my entire life, by the fact. But easy bet, 3-game parlay, lock it in, win you some money, have yourself a nice week next week, maybe weekend, make yourself another bet. But lock. Bengals money line over the Patriots. Bills money line over the Cardinals. Vikings money line over the Giants. I'm going to bet $25, pay $75. Lock it in. It's a good bet.
I don't know how you get a nice week with this Biden economics going on, but that might be a nice night there in St. Louis.
I forgot I'm in Missouri. I can't place that bet at the moment. I will do it when I cross the line. That's mine.
I was going to ask you to place a bet for me, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
I was wondering why I wasn't going through.
Are we ready for my game now?
Yep,
Sure.
let's do it.
Since football is back, I'm back with a football trivia game. So this is going to be, since the 2000s, besides Tom Brady, what are the top 10 passing touchdown leaders? I'll give you 3 strikes, out of 10. So
Okay.
you guys should get this one.
Can I pull up a list of teams, not players,
No.
like the stand? God dang it. Okay.
This
Right,
is too easy of a quiz.
Since 2000,
Drew Brees,
Drew Brees is number 1.
Peyton Manning,
Number 2.
since 2000, probably Ben
Phillip Rivers.
Roethlisberger.
Yep.
Which did you say?
Rivers and Roethlisberger.
That's 4 and 5.
How about Matt Ryan?
Yep.
That is 6.
Okay. I'm thinking Eli Manning. He played for so long, Roy.
Sure.
Eli.
That is 7.
Oh, man. Now I'm pressured to get 8, 9, 10 in a row.
You don't have
Think
3
about-
yet.
Oh, did we skip 3? Oh.
Yeah.
Who played for a long time?
Aaron Rodgers.
Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is 3. Wilson is 9.
Okay. Who's been around? Matthew Stafford.
There's 8.
So
We
is
have
he
one
number
left.
10?
1 left. Can he get the sweep?
Now it gets tough.
Since 2000.
Not even a guess.
I mean, I'm
Well,
thinking of a few names. I'm just.
I got a few names in my head, but I'm trying to think if they're even.
I just don't think he's played long enough.
Who are you thinking?
Can you tell me the number that he has?
You guys don't even have a strike yet. There's no way I'm giving you a hint.
I'm just curious on how many it is.
Because I'm dang it, I don't even want to go with him.
Give me some names, Roy.
I was
I'll
going
see if
Mahomes, but I don't think he has been
He's
on
in my head. I just don't think he's played long enough.
I don't either.
I also think, Dak's been in longer than Mahomes. Now, I don't know. I think he's thrown more touchdowns, but also Dak didn't throw as many in his earlier days. So I think they could be pretty close.
Joe Flacco was another name I was thinking.
He had so much downtime, but man, he did play. I feel
a long time, and
let's throw Joe Flacco out there for one. I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
That is incorrect.
Okay, I didn't mind that guess at all. Jared Goff came in 16. I think he's in there. Who was number 9 that we got? What was his? Which one was 9?
Kurt Warner.
No, I don't think so. You might be right, but
Number 9 was Russell Wilson.
I was thinking Kurt Warner because he played. I mean, he was part of St. Louis in 2000. They won the Super Bowl in 1999 and 2000. Then he was with the Giants and the Cardinals.
I just don't think he was in. I don't think he started long enough. And Cam Newton didn't throw enough. He would have total touchdowns probably, but not throwing. I mean, fuck Baker or what's his face?
Baker
James
Mayfield?
Winston threw about 50 and 50 one year.
I know we're missing one. We're just missing.
I know.
one.
I'm trying to run through the teams and see who we're missing. What about Brett Favre?
I think he was gone before. I mean, he was in
played
more than
before
90.
2000?
He played before. Yeah, did he play before 2000?
Like a lot.
Yeah, he played. He won a Super Bowl in
He retired
'97.
in like 6, didn't he?
Yeah, like 2006, 2007.
No, he was on the cover in 09.
No
The
way.
Packers. Madden 09. I mean, I'm not saying he was that good then, but
He retired in 2010.
yeah.
Oh, did he?
I mean, that's 10 years, Roy. And he played at every
Go
stop.
ahead. We got one more strike. We got 2 strikes to play with.
All right, that is not correct.
Damn.
I'll give you the team now since you have 2.
Okay.
The team I'll give you is the Bengals.
Oh, Andy Dalton. Well,
Is that your answer?
It's got to be Andy Dalton.
That's incorrect.
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer is correct.
I didn't even know Carson Palmer played that long.
Yeah. Damn it. I thought
I would never have told.
I thought of him, but I was like, man, he played several years. He quit and then went over
I know.
to
I remember him stopping for a little bit.
to Arizona, and I was like, maybe not.
Carson Palmer never would have crossed my mind.
It did mine because I Mahomes crossed my mind. Matt Schaub when he was with Houston crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Kurt Warner. I mean,
Smoking Jay didn't.
no.
Now
No,
if he was
he
smoking
didn't.
packs
He
of
played for
cigarettes
Raw?
out of, he'd have been the number 1 overall pick. All right, Roy.
No. I'm just more excited. If you don't love this time of year, you're fucking crazy.
Yep.
Major League Baseball ending with great college football, which is my favorite, and then you got NFL. So trust me,
Which
if
is
you
our
don't
favorite.
if you don't like if you're a sports fan and you don't like right now, fuck you.
I agree.
That's my wisdom.
That's going to
That's
go on
great
TikTok.
wisdom. That's great wisdom. I don't have anything else, you guys.
No.
No. Nope.
Hit the like button, subscribe, comment. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
See ya.
Gotta find my way to you, even though you're never